Hello everyone, it's Minty and welcome to my channel. We are here, ready to play Planet Zoo. I'm sorry this got delayed by one day after the beta release. I had a bunch of stuff to do yesterday and I was also playing, getting to know the game a little bit better. I forgot to record because I was so excited, but now here I am, ready to record, and we're just gonna jump right on into career mode. I was thinking we were gonna complete the career mode and then do the franchise mode later when we complete career mode. I have already completed the career mode, but I'm gonna do it here with you guys. And so yeah, let's just jump right in at the Goodwin house. Goodwin House, renovated and renamed after its purchase by Bernard Goodwin in the 1980s. Goodwin House has since become one of the most respected zoos in the country. More recently, it has undergone a further renovation to update many of the habitats and facilities. But due to various issues, the work hasn't quite been completed, which is here where you come in. Also, I'm sorry for my voice. I have a bit of problems reading, and I am also sick. So that's why my voice may sound bad or all of that stuff. So let's just jump right in, start new, and let's get started. And here we have it, guys.
Heyo ad hematu. Yeah. Oh, sorry about that. I have a habit of slipping back into the Planko language. It's good to finally meet you in person. I'm Bernard, although I insist you call me Bernie. The only person who calls me Bernard is my wife. And even then, only when I've tracked elephant dung into the carpets. As you know, I own several zoos, but I always like to show people the ropes here at my home. This is the first zoo I ever opened, and a source of great pride for me. And prides, thanks to a lion breeding program we ran in the 80s. But we're in the middle of a big renovation, and that's where you come in. Sadly, our old contractor had to retire after developing a fur allergy. Poor devil kept sneezing his dentures into the lion habitat. So, it's up to you to finish everything off. Don't worry, though. I'm not completely throwing you in at the deep end. My head keeper, Nancy Jones, will be lending a helping hand. Oh, she's a hard worker, and she'll expect you to be too. But I'm sure you'll get along like a house on fire, or even better, one that isn't on fire. Less shouting that way.
So that was the intro, and now Nancy will
Hello
speak.
there. From that rosy, fresh face of yours, I'm guessing you're Bernie's new hire. Good. Now, I hope you're ready to ditch your diploma because we're about to get really hands-on. But before we begin the real work, how about we familiarize you with the zoo by learning how to fly around it and visiting some of our beautiful animals? We'll start by popping over and having a look-see at the grizzly bears in their habitat.
The grizzly bear habitat has been lovely highlighted over here, so we're gonna go and check up on them. Oh my god.
Did you know that grizzly bears, also known as Ursus arctos horribilis, can hibernate for up to 7 months a year? Oh, but then again, given the chance, I think a lot of people would do that too. Select one of the bears and you'll bring up its information panel. See now, this is a fantastic way to get a close look at your animals. You can also get this view of an animal by simply double-clicking on it. Okay, when you're ready, let's pop over to the other side of the zoo and take a look at the lions. I've marked their location for you to find.
Oh my god, that is so cute. I wanted to get a little screenshot of him. But she was speaking. So, that is so gorgeous. Zachary, the grizzly bear. Wow. The bears are honestly so cute in my opinion. Oh no. shake. This is Nakidra. I'm sorry if I pronounce any of these names wrong. It is of the animal's origin, so I don't know how to pronounce a lot of different names. But this is a lovely exhibit. This is very lovely. And it's very cool how there's like a cave here. We have to figure out how to build this at some point. And now let's go and find the West African lion habitat, which is over here.
Panthera Leo Leo, or the West African lion to you and me. Lions are the most social of the big cats, and there can be as many as 40 lions in a pride, although prides of that size are pretty rare. As Bernie would say, those lions are awesome, which is precisely why I handle the training instead these days. Anyway, how about we get started on those objectives? Come on, let's head over to our warthog habitat and see what needs doing there.
The warthog habitat is over here.
As you can see, it's a lovely space for warthogs, but it's missing a certain something. Well, two somethings. The warthogs. So I'd like you to adopt a pair of them. To adopt animals, we need to open the animal market, which is in the animal trading section. There we are, a pair of perfectly splendid warthogs for our zoo. Just click on them and select Buy from the side menu. Normally the animal exchange would be full of animals, but I've emptied out the market while you learn how it works. The last thing I need is you accidentally ordering a dozen elephants.
We're gonna send them to our zoo and wait for the delivery. But she will start speaking.
When you adopt an animal, it's automatically placed in the trade centre, where they're held until you're ready to move them into their habitat, which, as it happens, you are. So how about you move them into their new home?
We have, and now we are waiting for them.
When you ask for an animal to be moved into a habitat, your caretakers will go to the trade centre, collect your animal, and deliver them to your selected habitat. I've marked the trade centre's location, so let's go and watch the caretakers in action.
Watching them run for their life, getting the warthogs into the exhibits.
As you can see, those caretakers don't hang about. They'll move those animals to their destination as fast as possible. Of course, normally we'd have to place the animals into quarantine before moving them into a habitat, but I am assured by a person of good standing that these warthogs are in the very rudest of health. Right, let's get the warthog's habitat finished up so we can keep them nice and happy. You see, each animal in the zoo has an overall welfare statistic, basically how happy they are, and that overall welfare statistic is itself comprised of 4 different areas: nutrition, social health, habitat, and enrichment. Luckily, if you select an animal, you'll bring up their animal welfare information panel, which we saw earlier, where you can see how they're doing. That way, you'll know exactly what areas need to be addressed. Don't worry if that's a lot to remember. You can always check the Zoopedia for more information.
So now we're gonna watch add
Let's start by making sure we're taking
Yep.
care of the warthog's nutrition welfare. To do this, we'll need to place a food station and a drinking station. Now, each animal requires a different type of feeding station, and for the warthogs, it's a small feeding trough. So let's add one of those and a water bowl.
I like keeping the feeding troughs in front of here so that the guests can see it.
Animals also require stimulation to keep them happy. Let's add a lovely mud bath for the warthogs to roll around in. That bath will count towards their enrichment welfare, specifically their toy enrichment welfare.
So I am not sure what the place is. I kind of want it in the middle because that looks good, but I also like having things at the side. But I saw them sleeping there, so I might put it here, which is kind of in front of the enclosure, and they have some room to walk behind it. This is good.
Oh, nice work. You've got a knack for this, I see. Now, Our contractor had to leave in a hurry, so this place is in a pharaoh's state. Unfinished thingamajigs and whatsits all over the shop. But the first thing we need to finish is the ostrich habitat. It's over near the hippos.
There's Khalid and Numbeko, which are adorable little warthogs. So cute, in my opinion. So now we are heading over here.
Okay, job number 1 here is to add a habitat gate before we complete the barrier. Every habitat needs a habitat gate. After all, how else would the keepers get in and out? Just make sure it's hooked up to the path so the keepers can reach it.
And then we're placing a habitat gate there in the middle. That.
Right, let's complete the perimeter barrier so we can adopt us some ostriches. I've marked out an area for you to use, so I'd like you to finish off the perimeter using the brick barrier.
Now we're gonna complete barrier like so.
Good work! Remember, before you can place animals in any habitat, it has to have a full loop of connected barrier. Now, you've probably noticed that guests can't actually see into this habitat at the moment. At least not without a stepladder. But seeing as they're banned, I'd like you to select a piece of barrier and swap out the brick for a glass barrier, so the guests can see in.
You just click and place the glass. Very simple.
There we go. Adding in more windows gives guests even more opportunities to see the animals in a habitat. It's always best to make sure the guests can get a good view into a habitat from the path they're walking on, because it makes them happy, and because this would be a pretty terrible zoo if they couldn't. The last thing we need to do is to add a donation box. You see, when guests enjoy the view of an animal, they'll make a donation. Just make sure you put them in easy-to-reach places, like near a viewing point. Donation boxes are one of the main sources of income for the zoo, so make sure you remember them. All right, you've finished the habitat, so it's high time we adopted those ostriches, don't you think? Let's get 4 of them in here.
And like she said, we will be adopting corner ostriches. Neka, Ikusegan, Bangana, and Maria. I'm trying my best, guys, to say these names, but it's not always simple. Then you can just take and click all of them and send to Sue.
While we wait for them to be
easier.
collected by the caretakers and brought to the habitat, you should get it ready for them. Add a suitable feeding station, water station, and an appropriate food enrichment item. It's often best to place things like enrichments and feeding stations near to the habitat perimeter, so guests can get a really good view of the animals.
Now we will be placing the feeding like here, like she said. The food enrichment can be over here. And the water station could be over here, a little bit hidden. Then you just hold Z, said, a little bit of a lag, and then you place it down like that. And now we've got our first.
Oh, good to see the ostriches have somewhere
Our first
they can
star.
really stretch their legs. Did you know they can actually run at 43 miles per hour? Oh, heaven forbid they ever escape. The speed camera fines alone would bankrupt us.
Well, Bernie certainly seems impressed. Did he do his speed camera joke? Every time we get an ostrich. So, now we've made the ostriches' lives a bit better, let's do the same for the keepers, shall we? To make it easier for the keepers to feed the ostriches and hippos, we should build a new keeper hut. Keeper huts are where the keepers prepare the food for animals, so they should be placed near to the habitats to make sure the keepers don't waste their time walking when they should be looking after the animals.
So we're replacing this one because this is the one that has the gray. Let's just add an angle snap so that it angle snaps that, and we will be placing it here in the middle. That.
This keeper hut only has space for one keeper, but the larger keeper hut can allow multiple keepers to prepare food at the same time. Oh, but bear in mind that keeper huts and other staff facilities shouldn't be placed near to areas where there are lots of guests. Guests don't like seeing facility buildings, and it can affect their happiness negatively. In case that wasn't clear. Something that all facilities, shops, and a whole host of other objects need is power, and that obviously includes your newly built keeper hut. So let's place a transformer next to it, shall we?
And then there's a transformer. We are going to...
Now, the reason everything has gone blue is because you're using the power heat map. This map allows you to see what is and what isn't powered in your zoo. So once you've placed your transformer, you can click in the bottom left to turn the heat map off.
Trying to make this perfect. Sorry guys if this is taking a while. I just like to have things centered and, you know, as best as I can put it, like that.
Lovely work. Now the keepers can start using the hut to prepare food, and thanks to where you've put it, they won't need to walk very far to deliver it to the ostriches and hippos. Let's get on to your next objective then. Bengal tigers. We want to adopt some, but I'm afraid there's nothing ready for them yet. Head on over to the plot of land I've marked out. It's not too far away.
Then we are going to the highlighted area, which is going to be the Bengal tiger enclosure, which is really exciting.
Your next job is to build a habitat. From scratch. And wood and concrete, I expect. So go ahead and build it. And don't forget the habitat gate. It's always best to place the habitat gate close to the keeper hut. As it happens, there's one quite near to the trade centre. Oh, and make sure the guests will be able to see the tigers.
So now we will be making a tiger enclosure, which is very exciting. I love tigers. As I said, I have done this mode before, or played this for already 6 hours. So I kind of have a general idea on what to do and like how to do things. The tigers are absolutely stunning in my opinion. All the animals, Frontier did such an amazing job with all of the animals in this game. I am very impressed. And I was, as probably many other Planet Zoo players, a Zoo Tycoon 2 fan. I never got to play Zoo Tycoon, as that was before my time, but I've always loved zoo games, and I have literally been waiting for as long as I can remember for a game like this. So this made me really excited when I saw it, and I just got my hands on it as soon as I could. As the day they released that you could pre-ordered, I pre-ordered because I needed this game in my life. And I am very happy that I got it because I have always, like I probably said like a billion times now before, wanted a game like this. So I think I did that one too far out, and we will just push this back like that. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. It's not even by all means, but it is. I think it looks good in my opinion. And now we will be adding the glass. So let's choose where we want it. So I kind of want these two, so you can actually drag like this and then add more than one. And then I think I'm gonna do this one glass as well. I basically just want a lot of viewing area, I'm not sure if I'm gonna do these. I can't do this because this is a staff path. So I might do these as well. Put these here with more glass. And I think that looks good. That looks pretty good. Yeah, let's roll with that. And then we need a habitat gate, which I will place over here. Try my best to line that up. So let's place it here.
Now, Bernie takes safety very seriously at his zoos, so we should probably make sure those tigers can't jump out of their habitat, don't you think? The way we'll do it is by changing the height of the habitat's barrier. Okay then, you should start by double-clicking the habitat barrier, which will take you into barrier editing mode. Great. Now highlight the entire perimeter of the habitat. You can do that by clicking and dragging the barrier selection tool. Now you've got all of the perimeter selected, you can increase the height of it by clicking and dragging the barrier height tool upwards. You'll want to make sure it reaches a minimum height of 4 meters.
And then we will do it 4 meters. I don't know why this is got like this though. That is actually kind of annoying. I don't know what to do about it, honestly. But it's probably gonna be fine. We just have to make... Oh, I just deleted it. Okay. Yeah. So we just have to make the height a bit taller so that the door becomes at 4 meters. Which is kind of annoying because that means it's gonna be very, very tall, but that's what happens. Stuff like this, I'm not the best at building yet. I don't really know how it works,
Okay, that's
but
the habitat boundary
here we go.
complete, the habitat gate in place, and most importantly, the tigers won't be able to jump out of it anymore. I think it's time we adopted those tigers.
Now we're going to adapt some beautiful Bengal tigers, which are probably one of my favorite animals in Planet Zoo and in real life. I think tigers are absolutely stunning and I love them. So it made me really excited when I
Whilst
saw
our
them.
trusty caretakers collect and deliver the tigers, let's take a look at preparing the habitat for their arrival. We'll start with the basics. Add a suitable feeding station for them.
And now we will be giving feeding station, which I think I will give them over here, perhaps.
This time, instead of adding a water bowl, let's try something different. Some animals need a pool in their habitat so they can go for a swim, but they can also use it to drink from. All you have to do is make sure the banks of the pool have a gentle slope so they can easily get a nice, refreshing drink. There's already a pool excavated, but you still need to fill it with water. You should do that by going into terrain and selecting the water tool.
That filled up with water.
Yes,
and
that'll
looks
do
great.
nicely. Of course, just like the warthogs and ostriches, these tigers will also need some enrichment. Why don't you add some suitable toy and food enrichment items into their habitat?
And then we will be placing the rubber pad. I am not quite sure where to have this. Maybe over here looks like a good spot. Placing this here.
Okay, it's really starting to take shape. Now, the tigers will need a shelter in their habitat so they can hide from the guests, or more likely the bad weather. Although given that we're in England, you might want to think of that just as normal weather. Go on, add a shelter to their habitat. You can either build one from various suitable bits and bobs, or if you like, just pop down the blueprint that I've already built for you.
And then we will be giving them a shelter. Quite simple. Just gonna place this over here, I think. Seems like a little nice spot for it. Kind of out of the guest's way, but at the same time, it is still viewable. So I'm just gonna make sure this is nice and kind of lined up as best as I can, like that. There we go.
Oh, poor Dabs. I'm sure it can't have escaped your attention that the tigers look a bit miffed. That's because they aren't too keen on the type of terrain in their habitat. Select a tiger and bring up its information panel. Rightio, click on the terrain tab. That way you can view the terrain information and see how they feel about the different types of terrain. That'll tell you what the tigers need more of or less of in this habitat.
So let's give them some more soil, because that is what they seemed to want.
Okay then, open the terrain editing tool, select painting, and give them some more soil. Yes, that should help with the habitat part of their welfare.
Let's blend this nicely in to the grass here. Trying to make this as good as I can, like I said. Added the big here. We can actually have some bits over here. Get that is looking nice, and like a tiger would love it, I think, in my opinion. Let's add some more here and just blend that all out. And now it looks like they actually need some more short grass, so we can add that a bit around here.
Right then.
There we
All
go.
animals need plants and trees from their own biome or continent. You know, deserts, savannas, or Asia, Europe, that sort of thing. It looks like these tigers need a few more plants in their habitat. To get a perfect fit, use plants from the rainforest and temperate biomes that are native to Asia. Although if you have to, you can get away with using just one or the other. The tigers will also want a certain amount of their habitat to be covered by those plants. To find out which plants to use and how many, select a tiger and go to the Environment tab.
So here we have all the plants that they
Now,
like and
as
don't.
you can see, some of the plants currently in the habitat aren't quite right for the tiger, like the wattle bushes. You can remove them if you want.
Which is what I'm going to do, because
You can find all of the plants you need in the nature section, and you can use the filters to only show the types of plants you want to see. In this case, that's plants from the rainforest or temperate biomes.
And then the tree also they don't like, so let's delete that and see if there was anything else. No. Then we are just going to then we are going to go to nature and filter by continent, which is Asia, and then biome, which is tropical, temperate, and grassland. Let's do that: tropical, temperate, and grassland. So now we have all of these to pick and choose from and make the tiger as happy as can be. So let us place maybe, oh, that is one big of a very big tree. I don't think this is a big enough enclosure to have something like this for the tigers, even though it is very pretty. I am actually very considering it, placing a tree right there. Let's, you know what, I think we're just gonna go for it. I think it looks cute, and let's just place that. There we go. And then we will add some, let's do a bit of a little, what is this? A banana palm right there. And another one down here. And just make it nice and tropical for them. Let's also add some, let's see, let's add some of, I'm trying to consider which ones. Let's add some bracken around here. There's apparently some over there, but it's nice with some more, I feel like. Now it's starting to become orange, so they're starting to enjoy it more. Then I also want to add some elephant ear plants around this area where we've placed some more, and let's just keep it I very like collected and, you know, not just take them all around the exhibit. I want this to look the prettiest I can make it. So I'm just going to add a little bit of bushes here and there. Let's add some of these banana palms, which are shorter. Actually, a bit higher one over here. Then just place them a bit around, making it lovely and nice for the tigers. And actually add a little corner here with plants as well, I feel like. Let's add some there. And then some of these over here as well, just to blend the colors in a bit, make it more, seem like it's more all connected in one, and making it good, nice. And these plants are very vibrant, and I love that. I think it's beautiful with vibrant plants. There we go.
They say the good
Our
fences
second
make good
star.
neighbors. I guess that's doubly true when one of the neighbors is a Bengal tiger. Still, those tigers look so happy that I doubt they'd leave, even if you did poke a hole in their fence. Oh, but for heaven's sake, don't test that theory.
Right. So I think we will end it here, guys, before they start talking again. Thank you so much for watching my video. I can't wait to continue this Planet Zoo journey with you guys. Once we complete this mode, we are going to go to the franchise mode, and we are going to build our entire own zoo from scratch. So look forward to that, guys. If you want that, you can hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so that you get notified every time I upload a new video, so you don't miss out on all of the Planet Zoo fun we are going to have. So thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a comment down below what you want to see more of, what you want me to do, and future name suggestions for animals, and if there's anything specific you want me to build. So thank you guys, and I'll see you later. Bye!